All right, guys, sorry about that. We are back. So we've now imported the file. And you can see it's the same columns that we had in the spreadsheet. And I'm just going to rename that. So I'm just going to call it Chart Boost and give it today's date of 9/10/2. Just to remember, always good to keep that. And then what we're going to do is we want to throw this into a pivot table so that we can analyze it. So what we're going to do is select all the rows. Again, it's a lot of data, so it's going to hang a little bit while it aggregates the information. But right now, it's sort of the easiest way to do that. So again, it just takes a little bit of time. So we're going to pause it for now while it sort of selects all the rows. All right, so once all the rows are selected, you want to go to Data, Pivot Table, and again, this may take some time to load, given that we have a lot of data that we're looking to analyze. So you just have to be patient with this. All right, so once the Chartboost is set, what we want to do is we want to click on Values, and we want to add the following values. We want to track impressions by sum. We want to track clicks by sum, installs, and then we want to track money in. Okay, and then for our rows, we want to track from campaign name, which is our creatives, and we want to track to app name, which are our app campaigns. And then we're going to sort by impressions. And we want that descending. We want to see the stuff with the most impressions first. Okay, and then we're going to give the pivot table some time to do its thing and show all the data that we want. Okay, and then we'll just remove the totals field because it's just not necessary for the exercise that we're trying to do here. And again, just give give the need some time to check it. So once we have that here, so you can see, okay, for a non-casino catch-all campaign, here are the ads that were served. So we had Clash of Kings was the most impressions, followed by Soul Hunters, Phantom Pop, World of Blitz, and I mean you could automatically see, wow, okay, these these ones, World of Tank Blitz, served 1,242 times, 196 clicks, no installs, no money earned. So those are the type of things we want to see. You don't want to, and we're going to analyze this and observe it further. But you don't want to just make the decision based upon sum of installs, sum of money earned, right? Because something may be having a low click-through rate or a high click-through rate, and it just, maybe it's just not working for some particular reason than the other. But we want to be able to have we need more data information before we can make a decision on whether we should stop these ads from serving within this particular game or not to boost our ECPMs. So what we're going to want to know is the click-through rate, ECPMs, install rate, and CPI. And this data is actually in the CSV file that we downloaded, but we want to calculate this ourselves because we've aggregated the information and it's just easier that way. So to get click-through rate is just the number of clicks divided by the number of impressions, right? And then we're going to want that in a percentage-wise. And then install rate is the number of installs over the number of clicks, right? We're going to want that too. And then cost per install is basically the money that you've earned divided by the number of over the number of installs that you've had, and that gives you your CPI, and that's $1.60 in this recent position. And then for ECPM is basically, it's a small formula. It's the money that you've earned divided by the number of impressions times 1,000. Okay, and this shows us that we have an ECPM of $3.98. So what this does is it allows us to compare apples to apples, because something down here may have only generated 98 cents, but it has a much higher ECPM, and therefore we want to show it more than something that has generated maybe $29 because it has a lower ECPM. So once we have that, we're going to just double click here, and what it's going to do is just populate these formulas all the way down the entire pivot table so that we can look at everything. So now what we're going to do is we're evaluating our non-casino catch-all campaign. In this particular one, I can scroll down here and I'm can see how different campaigns are faring in this app. In this particular one, it looks like World of Tanks Blitz, 15% click-through rate, seems about in line with everything else, but the ECPMs aren't there and the install rate isn't there. So for something that's the fourth highest campaign, it doesn't seem to be doing particularly well. So this might be a candidate that we flag to take out. Now, generally, you want to have a good chunk of data, a good chunk of impressions before you make a decision on whether to remove an ad, right? So this particular ad, for example, has 167 impressions. It's just not enough impressions for me to really make a decision. So we really focus on, we'll say that the top tier of apps. In this particular case, we're only going to concentrate on the apps that the ads that have had 1,000 impressions or more, because that gives us enough data to really make a significant conclusion. In this particular instance, I'm gonna say, let's they're getting a lot of impressions for World of Tanks. Nobody's clicking on them, so this probably pulling down our ECPM. So we're going to take this out of the non-casino catch-all campaign. And so how we do that is we go to Chartboost, we click on campaign, and again, this particular this campaign is an iOS, is under iOS. So what I'm going to do is click on campaigns here, sorry, publishing, and then I'm going to look for the non-casino catch-all campaign, which is here. Okay, and then what I want to do is click on advanced targeting, and then I'm going to look to block that ad. So I'm going to enter in World of Tanks Blitz, and it's searching for it, and I'm going to click on that, and now it's added it to my list of blocked apps, and then I'm going to click Save. And basically what this is saying is we're saying, hey Chartboost, we no longer want this campaign, this ad in our campaign because it's a low performer. And then the other ones are doing reasonably well, sort of given comparing them to each other. So the ECPMs here are a little low, but I'm not gonna necessarily take it out. And we we're then going to kind of scroll down to the next game, right? So I'm going to skip all these again. These are pretty low, so we're just going to ignore them. You don't want to cut into the bone here. You don't want to start just taking out everything. You really just want to take out the stuff that's not working for you. So here again, we're on the solitaire tier 1 campaign. So obviously this is serving within my solitaire campaigns. And I can see here the first one, solitaire perfect match. Um, this is a high click-through rate. ECPMs of $48. That's phenomenal. 14% install rate. Cost per install of $1.37. Now I look at the next app here. Slots Casino Games has served 2,092 times, 99 clicks. You see here, and then the installs are. There was only one install, right? This is the second highest ad served under this campaign. And in the last 30 days, only one person has installed it. ECPMs of 50 cents. Like, this is dragging the average down for this campaign. $1.19, so it's a great cost per install, but nobody's installing it, right? So this is like, we totally want to get rid of this. Like, we want this out of that. So I'm going to go and search for Solitaire Tier 1. Click on that. Click on Advanced Targeting. We're going to enter in this game that we just saw, and we want that out. Before we save, let's go back and see if there's something else that's also terrible. Classic slots, 1,723 impressions, 79 clicks. So automatically, the click-through rate of 4.59%. We see the top one has a 25% click-through rate. Golden Sand Casino has an 8%. This one is 4.59%. No installs, no money earned. We absolutely want to take this out of our campaign. So we are going to enter that in. And sometimes you'll see multiple apps like this. If sometimes the same game will run multiple ad campaigns. So in this case, we know it looks like it's classic slots, so I'm going to take that out. And just to play it safe, I'm going to also take out classic slots, Vegas Casino iOS. The other ones, I don't think that they're our ad. I think there's something different, so we're just going to leave those alone. Again, you want to be careful. You want to make sure you don't cut into the bone. Now I'm scrolling through here again. I'm trying to see other things that I just kind of look off to me. Heart of Vegas. This may be something that we decide to remove. Yeah, I think for this particular case, lower ECPM to $3.29, really pulling down the average. Lower click-through rates, not many installs. I think this is a safe one to take out, and so we'll throw it in there too. Okay, we'll take that, and then we'll click save. Okay, and this is how this is sort of how we go through and really kind of curate the portfolio to make sure that we're showing ads that are relevant to our core base, and it gives us the best opportunity to monetize. So what I'll do is I'll go through each of these and again just pull out the things that don't make sense. So in multi-line slots, Slot Bonanza. Now these are apps that maybe don't work well in solitaire, but slots work well in our slot campaigns. So you can see here, $21 ECPMs, $44 ECPMs, $4 installs, $3.45. Solitaire, look at that click through that ECPMs of $6.99. The click through rates are sort of I guess on, not too crazy, but the ECPMs, we could, pulling down our average. So in this particular case, and again, like, lower install rates than the average. So this is something that, you know, we would take out. Again, it's solitaire. People who are playing slots aren't coming to play solitaire. So I take that, go to multi-line slots max, you click on advanced targeting, you throw it in here, solitaire free. And we're going to take out this free HD. Notice I had solitaire free in here already. So when they come out with a new campaign, um, it'll be a different, even though it may have they'll make it a slightly different name and re-release it. So that's why you have to sort of always come back in and curate this, because they'll come in with campaigns that don't work all the time. Um, Bingo Showdown, again, this only has 517 impressions, so it's not something that we normally, again, when it's that low, we take it out. But I just know from being in the space that bingo ads don't work well with slots. So in this particular case, um, even though it only has a lower amount of impressions, 517, we generally want to stay above 1,000. I'm going to take that out as well. So we can show Bingo Showdown. And I'm going to click on that, and then we're going to click Save. And then we just go down the line of all our different campaigns, filtering them out, and just taking out the stuff that's not really earning for us and doesn't really seem to be making sense. And again, for the most part, stay above, look for apps that have ads that have over 1,000 impressions. Some campaigns like our slots catch all, it's low, it doesn't have that many for the 30-day block. So we'll make exceptions in that regard. You see here, like in this particular case, blackjack is showing has the most impressions. It's earned the least amount of money. ECPM's of $2.59, where the third app down has served half the impressions but has made almost 20 times the revenue. ECPMs of $70. This is something where we're like, blackjack, you're out of slots catch all, right? You're serving a lot of impressions, but we're not benefiting from that. Probably take out classic slots as well, because we're not benefiting from those serving. When one's below it, we want these to serve more, right? So when we take out blackjack and possibly classic slots, we these other apps will serve a lot more in the game. So we'll search iOS slots catch all and click on advanced targeting, and then we're going to block blackjack. And you see here there are a lot of blackjack ads. Try to search for the exact match. If you cannot find it, it's a best guess scenario of what you think it is. In this particular scenario, blackjack isn't something that our core audience, don't work well in these slots games anyway. So I'm comfortable, taking out a few of them. I can't find the exact name. Comfortable taking out the ones that seem very similar to what we're doing here. It's not a perfect science, but I think this one of these is definitely it. So by selecting out those ones that we think aren't a fit, that should cover us. So we'll do that and click Save. And then, once we go through the entire portfolio, then it's just sort of a wait and see approach. Hopefully when we're going to our campaign, we'll see this spike up. Tomorrow we'll see that those ECPMs spike up because we've taken out the non-performing ads. And so what's left is like the cream of the crop, that stuff that should perform really well. And then again, you want to do this. I try to do it once a month. Maybe you can do it every 3 weeks, just to really make sure that we're optimizing our Chartboost ad network to serve the best ads all the time. So that completes the tutorial, and I hope you find this helpful. Thanks.